Okay. I have had to start this video several times now because I am hot on so many different ways. And by hot, I mean pissed. So first, I just want to get into it. Yeah, let me get off this OBS screen. But yeah, stop spraying the skies with this the shit that you're being sprayed with on the side right here. You can Google those particles. I want to get into some of these pictures because I've been keeping quite the collection of pictures over the past year, and just taking pictures of the sky to show you what is normal and what is not. And we should be asking questions about what this shit is, and not trying to just say, oh, well, they're contrails from jets. Even if they were just contrails from jets, what's in the chemical compounds that's being sprayed out? And since you are not a scientist, I know that you can't tell me. So posting some conspiracy theory Wikipedia link does not disprove me, and you trying to discredit me and say, oh, he's crazy for doing so, only is going to make me push even harder. So you, as another person who's breathing in these same chemicals as I, should be asking these questions. And I'll tell you, aside from the aesthetic displeasure that I have to see on a what should be a clear day, and I mean, if we really want to look at it, look at what happened this past summer. How much of a summer did we have? Not really one. It rained a few days, then it was nice, then it rained a few days. And why? Because of this stuff. Because of things like this. Because of cloud seeding. I was talking to someone a couple weeks ago. They're like, oh, cloud seeding's not real. It's real. It's very, very real. And we are now, we are paying with our tax dollars for this shit through water companies, through power companies, through private contract companies. And it's bullshit. And then they say, oh, well, they set aside a fund to do it, and then the taxpayer, or they vote, and then push it through. But I have never, ever, ever seen anything that said about voting on this. Have you? So now we're just gonna let it continue to happen? And I'll tell you for myself, I have been having this weird chest pain recently. Like, it feels like something's kind of pinched or pressed right here, and I feel like it's because of the shit that we're breathing in. Just a couple weeks ago, I had noticed that like hella people had like skin outbreaks, and I'm like, what is this? Even I had a few like things, and I know that obviously what you eat plays a role into that, but I just found it weird that hella people had skin problems, like just an outbreak of something. And that was one thing that made me think it's probably these fucking metals that are just landing on people's skin and irritating them. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to investigate that shit, and we're going to look into it. I still want to go through a few more pictures. I took this one off Instagram, but look at this haze in the sky. And Samara, the photographer, whoever this is, these photos were illegal to take. But I truly... First of all, why is a photo like this illegal to take? That's stupid. But look at this haze in the sky. This is your geoengineering. Look at this. I'm going to play a video from this morning because I was pissed. I just want to point out that this is not a regular sky. All this cloud. Do you see that blue down there? Excuse me. So you can see all that blue down there? So you were able to see this morning clear sky beyond the bullshit that is right here. That's real sky back on the horizon. All that. See that blue? And you can even see in the blue, they're spraying in the blue. So even beyond the clouds, even beyond this cloud cover that they're providing, they're still spraying on top of that, which we can't even see. And now planes, like this plane here, the planes have now lowered their descent, upon which, like when they come in for landing, if you notice, planes are lower than they've ever been before, like when they come in for descent. And now everyone's going to get used to this being like, oh, this is the normal height of the sky. Like, this is normal. You know, everything being this low. No, the sky is beyond this bullshit. Look, you can see the blue. And this is not a cloud. These aren't clouds that are covering the sky. This is what they sprayed in the sky to block out the sun. This is your climate control. This is your climate change. This is your Greta Thunberg. This is what we're paying for as taxpayers. Because we believe that this is going to stop the earth from heating up. Meanwhile, we're breathing the shit in that's settling down. We're breathing in aluminum and barium and strontium and all these different metals. And we're supposed look. The blue is beyond these bullshit clouds. These are not even clouds. I can't even say that they're clouds. I can't even finish the sentence because it's offensive to my fucking nature of looking in the sky as a human being on this earth and saying that this is a cloud, because it's not. That was hot. You can see the blue, clear sky beyond this bullshit that they've sprayed in the sky to cover the city. And for why? Look at this. It's like dust in the sky. And what's controlling it? HARP. Stratospheric aerosol injection. And actually, HARP, it claims that they are no longer in service now. It's now just like a research facility. They don't. It's not operative. Sorry, I'm looking at the mic. I should be looking at y'all. So you've seen that? Yeah. Here's another one. Or I have my meditative music playing. That's what I sleep to. So, and I'll pause it there on that to just side note about meditative music. And if you don't know about megahertz and hertz and stuff like that, like radio frequencies, you really should look into that, because most music that we listen to is created on a very low frequency, and those low frequencies affect us as beings of energy and light. Like, low frequency music affects your whole being. And so, like, when I sleep, I listen to music in the 432 hertz range, because that's what's supposed to be ideal for like your whole, more or less your whole aura. And I think the majority of music is in 440 or something like that, 441. I know I'm wrong about the number, but you should look into that because all this shit is connected. Like, it's all connected. But that was, look at this crazy ass looking marshmallow puff in the sky. And so, see, now that people are starting to ask questions and are curious and want answers to the shit, they do some bullshit like this. 12 new clouds added to the cloud atlas. Okay. Your first one, and this is the most offensive one. I literally just seeing that they've given it a name, it is an insult to my intelligence. The Homo mutatus. You mean the one that the plane sprayed? That one? It's now being classified as a cloud? Oh yes, we get to watch Miss Lady, Miss Susan, tell us about the new clouds, because she's a meteorologist and I'm sure she just knows all about it. Let's hear what she got to say.
The asparagus, these are gorgeous. It's actually my favorite. It's kind of looking like it waves while you're underwater. I mean, these are actually, because that's how many new types of clouds have been added to this historic update coming from meteorologists. I'm a little biased, right? Exciting stuff, guys. All right, so the new types include the Volatus or roll cloud, which has been designated as a whole new species. You can see it gets its name from this long horizontal tube-like shape. Next,
you mean the shit that they spray in the sky has got its own name?
Or the hole punch cloud, this big circular gap, is sometimes caused by aircraft taking off and landing. Very easy to see, right? Makes sense there. And we also have the asparagus. These are gorgeous. It's actually my favorite. It's kind of looking like it waves while you're underwater. I mean, these are actually beautiful. I mean, check these out. And then finally, we also have...
You know what that looks like? You know what this looks like when chemical people were in a lab and they had that like fucking steam or you know, when they swirl around in their beakers. That's what that looks like in the sky. And now I'm crazy because these motherfuckers is putting the shit in the sky.
Have the big surfer waves of the fluctus clouds. These are actually caused by winds above flowing faster than the winds within the cloud itself. So you kind of get that shape. So beautiful, right?
And now everyone is now a meteorologist and can explain the clouds because Miss Lady here has just told everyone what it is. Good job on educating everyone.
Just a sample of the new additions that we have. Meteorologists, sky watchers, daydreamers, we're all geeking
Oh, they didn't get into the other ones though. She said 12. They only got into like
out, guys. What do you guys think?
I
Please
love
tell me
that.
it's a favorite.
Who gets to name those things?
That's a great question.
Oh, you shut up. Everybody in the mainstream media news are all fucking, they know what's going on. They just paid to provide disinformation. Ugh. Who gets to name these? Shut the fuck up. So then, let's move on. I can close that out. Let's move on to this gentleman. Lay you back. Now, the title of this video is I secretly recorded a chemtrail pilot amid spraying us with silver iodide and it's toxic. And then what they do, what they've been so... Oh, God bless you, Google. You've just provided so much helpful information. They tag little things like this at the bottom of the video. Oh, a contrail is also called a condensation trail or a vapor trail. Steamer of cloud sometimes observed behind an airplane. Of cold, humid air. Okay. So then everyone who sees this video is like, well, that's obviously what it is. Like, they can't be spraying because there's the answer right there. So we're going to go through this video, and yes, it is 13 minutes and 40 seconds, and I will skip ahead to some parts, but it's very informative. In Fargo, North Dakota, Weather Modification Inc. The Environmental Health and Safety UC Berkeley rates silver iodide as a Class C non-soluble inorganic hazardous chemical that pollutes water and soil. It has been found to be highly toxic to fish, livestock, and humans. This is my name. I mean, you can pause the video and read these things. I'm not gonna like read everyone off. It absorbs through lungs, nose, skin, and GI tract. This is how it gets into your body. Again, you can pause this and read it, or if you read fast, you already probably read it.
The sign out there said it was Weather Modification Inc.
Right turn in 0.3 miles, 20th Street North.
So I posted this video on YouTube or on Facebook, like the video just by itself. So if you want, you can just go check it out.
There it is right there. Let's go see. They got a camera on me right there. There's a big old ball on the top.
So that thing, we'll get into since he's at.
Let's go see. They got a camera on.
That is what you would call a radome, which is, they can be found usually in like remote locations, not where many people are, but this is one of the ways that they're controlling the weather right here, these little balls. Discovery Park here in Seattle has one of these balls. It's not mentioned in here at all, but yes. And we'll just, you know, we'll just go into radome. A radome is a structural, weatherproof enclosure that protects a radar antenna. The radome is constructed of material that minimally attenuates the electromagnetic signals transmitted or received by the antenna. On a rotary wing and fixed wing aircraft using microwave satellite for beyond line of sight communication, radomes often appear as blisters on the fuselage. Yes, so Discovery Park's got one of these. Well, let's just go Google. I hate going, oops, I spelled that wrong. Ugh. What is the giant golf ball in the sky? Look at that. What are those FAA facilities in Seattle doing? So people on the Yep. This is at Discovery Park, people. It was once part of the country's Nike Hercules air defense system of missiles and radars in 1960. Nevertheless, let us continue.
I mean, right there, there's a big old ball on the top. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm in. Hi. Do you know where Weather Modification Inc. is?
Yeah, you're close. Are you meeting somebody?
No, I just kind of want to find out what they do.
Let me, people take here, I'll get something for you, okay?
Thank you. Okay, we are in. Is this their office or?
It's back, yeah.
Do they just have a pamphlet on what they're?
I'm sorry, what was the?
We can visit the website.
I know, I've been at the website.
Shelt, S-H.
I know they say that they do weather modification.
Okay, sounds good.
I just kind of like to know how they do it.
Look here, can you?
We're
Well,
gonna
they
start the wire
have
transfer
aircraft
radio
over here
here
too, so we
with,
can get that final price.
They don't? Are they out there?
Yeah, they have, what they do is they go out with their contracts all over the country, all over the world. And
Do you work with them?
I don't, I'm a flight instructor here.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, so you got a license.
Yeah,
So they do what now?
so they go up and depending on where they are in the country or the world, they're either measuring atmospheric conditions.
Mhm.
They are trying to reduce hailstone sizes and thunderstorms.
Right.
By use of chemicals or whatever they,
So they do use chemicals in the air to manipulate the weather?
as I understand it, yeah.
Really?
I'm not an expert on it, I mean, I can put you in touch with other people, but, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And again, they do it, like, I know they've got a contract where they've actually made it rain in Africa.
This place has. So they have contracts all over the world. Wow.
Yep.
Yep, as well.
It's been in business for a couple, well over a decade
Do
now.
you think any of them would talk to me on camera, doing a documentary?
Possibly, I can put you in.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah. See what we can do. Where are you from?
I'm from Oregon, and I went all across the United States talking to people about different things. This is one of them,
Okay.
about weather manipulation, weather modification, whatever.
Can you put him in touch with somebody?
From Weather Mod Inc. I'm doing a documentary, actually, about what they do.
What's your first name?
My name's Doug.
What your company are you with?
I'm with me. It's just, I call it True TV. And it's just a personal thing I'm doing, a documentary on just all kinds of stuff, United
I
States.
have a gentleman down here. Thanks. Jody, one of our weatherman pilots will meet you up in that front lobby there.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you heard all that.
I just want to pause to say, People probably didn't believe Erin Brockovich either when that bitch did her little investigation about them polluting the water. And by the way, that was in my hometown. It wasn't when I was living there, but I grew up in that same area where that shit happened. So, if we want to talk about some shit, people probably called that bitch a fucking flat earther or whatever the shit was at the time too. Let us continue.
They're coming down to talk to me.
You TP?
Yes.
Oh,
How you doing?
good.
My name is Doug Fisher.
Jody Fisher.
Are you one of the pilots that does the weather model?
Yeah.
Sure. Now, can you be in a video of me? I'm doing a documentary about what you guys do. Can you just tell me what you do?
I can't be in a video until I get approved by somebody else.
Oh, you gotta get proven it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only here for like a couple hours. I actually came from, well, not came from working to do this place, but I'm passing through.
Okay.
And it intrigues me that you guys, what you do.
Flying through thunderstorms.
So is that what you do?
Yep.
So you fly an airplane that has chemical attachment things? That
Yep. We use silver iodide.
Silver iodide.
Yeah. And the reason we use it, it's inert, it's environmentally safe.
Right.
And the amount we're using over the area you use, you'll never find it in the background,
Right.
you know.
Now,
but it burns, and when it burns into a crystal form.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like an ice crystal. So when
Right.
you put it in the cloud, the water says, hey, it's one of my own, and it attaches to it and freezes.
Okay, so it makes clouds basically.
No, it makes ice.
Also, it makes ice.
Yeah, the cloud already has to be there. The water has to be there.
Right.
So the ingredients have to be there, but sometimes the ingredients are there, and in the natural process, it doesn't multiply and get going, so then nothing comes out in the rain, the snow, whatever.
Right. So is there currently projects going on in the United States right now?
Yep. We have a project in North Dakota for rainfall enhancement and hail mitigation.
Really?
Minimizing the effects of hail. We have one in Calgary.
So you can stop it, is what you're saying.
Minimize the effects.
He said we had one in Calgary. Let me play it back so y'all can hear. In case you didn't hear.
Effects of hail. We have one in Calgary.
So
we have one in Calgary, okay? Boom. Calgary, this is CBC News, by the way, for you hoes and you, oh, that's French. Oh, debunked. Fact check. Insurance companies hire weather modification company to minimize damage. The Monday storm that pounded Calgary with the hail the size of golf balls would have been even more severe if the cloud seeding planes hadn't been in the sky earlier in the day. Maybe you wouldn't have had golf ball size hail if y'all wouldn't have sprayed in the first damn place, period. Because you're probably trying to take care of the side effects of the spraying that you did previously. Like, fuck, this hail's out of control. We need to minimize the size by spraying some more shit. Just before the hail hit the city, Weather Modification Inc. had 2 airplanes in the air, seeding the clouds with shots of silver iodide, which shrinks the ice stone, said Tom Walton, the company's field program manager. Silver iodide. They're not spraying in the air. It's a contrail. Oh yeah. I'm on it today. We're gonna get into it today. Y'all gonna learn today. Let's click the first one. Oh, sorry, my computer's taking long. I have quite a few tabs open. All right, silver metal poisoning toxicity symptomology. Direct effect on cartilage. May affect reasoning abilities. Physical symptoms of neck and back pain and tearing pain through the body. Mental fatigue and restlessness with vertigo. Bitch, this is what people are breathing in. And this is what you people motherfuckers are spraying over the skies? I am pissed. You are literally making motherfuckers sick. I got friends who got anxiety and depression, and it's probably because y'all motherfuckers is creating the shit. This is bullshit. Cold weather increases pain from rheumatism. How many times? So I've seen people Oh God, damn, my joints feel tight. Increased joint pain, nodding of cartilage, affects left testes and right ovaries. Mental and emotional excitement to the point of rage. Skin irritation, itching sensation that can't be relieved. Painful tension in the throat, gray mucus from throat and sinuses, heart palpitations while lying on back. This is silvermedicine.org. I am so pissed right now. And for people who sit up here and try to discredit me, I could literally slap the shit out of you because you are breathing this shit in, like I said before. Everybody's breathing this shit in. Everybody should care about this. And if you don't, you are compliant to what is going on and you really don't give a fuck whatsoever. And that's a shame. That is a shame as an American citizen, as someone who has rights as a citizen. There's people who flock to this country just to be as free as we are. And you don't give a fuck because you're too busy with all your other side projects and all these other things. Meanwhile, you're developing all of these symptoms, all these health problems, but not caring enough to look into it. This is why I'm looking into it, because I'm having things that are affecting my respiratory system. You know what? But I'm glad that people keep telling me that I'm crazy. It's not happening, because when people get mad, that's when people want to do some shit. And that's what I'm doing now. The next is to go to motherfucking city council. Was how I set that shit up. If someone knows how, please inform me on how to set it up in Seattle, Washington, to talk to city council, because this needs to stop. Even look, chemtrails rooted in Agent Orange spraying, but that whole shit, Agent Orange, was something we did, and that whole area of people suffered birth defects for years after that shit. Nothing grew there because they sprayed. Oh, anyway, let's get back to the video. I am so pissed.
You can stop it, is what you're saying.
Minimize the effects.
Minimize the effects.
Yeah.
Make it smaller.
Yeah.
But so can you cause it not to rain too?
No.
Yeah.
Not my experience.
So, well,
The Chinese say they can. I don't know that they can.
yeah, because
The Olympics.
the Olympics,
Yeah.
right? So you know about that.
Yeah.
They said they stopped the rain.
Yeah. Well.
So we haven't perfected that in the United States.
No.
Or you guys haven't.
Well, we haven't. I don't think anybody has in the
Really?
world. The Chinese say they do, but scientifically, when they explain it, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So just think. Let's stop and think about this for a second. If China said that they could do it, and we can't, bitch, we are in competition with everybody to be the best at every motherfucking thing, earth, sky, land, and everything in between. That's what all this is about. It's about control. So if China says that they can already do it, don't you believe that we've been trying to already do it? And where have we probably been doing it? Right above us, huh? I mean, just to think about, and I mean, really, if you think about it, stuff like technology. We'll stop it. We'll take pause on the sky shit. The iPhone. All these kind of things. We get it after it's long been created and people done had it and they're done with, all right, that's old, obsolete technology to, the government. It's old to them, so let the regular people have it. So, do you think they're really going to tell you, yes, we are spraying the shit above you? Come on. I mean, it's not even being mentioned in news at all. Not even in a way to be like, oh, people are asking questions and, trying to skew the narrative to be like, oh, it's just this. Because they could not literally do that. You could not run an article on TV and tell people that this is what it is. They'll try. They'll try. But no, everyone's focused on impeachment. Impeachment. Ooh, the impeachment. Everyone's so wet over the impeachment process. Meanwhile, freedom of speech is very much trying to be taken away. Censorship is all across the board on the internet. And people are just like, oh, well, it's fake news. And, they're just trying to block out fake news. Well, fake news is coming from local media sources with their skewed opinion about shit, whether it's the left or whether it's the right. It don't matter. That shit doesn't even matter with what's going on now. Ain't no Democrat or no Republican. No, this shit doesn't matter. Half of this was happening under Obama. Mr. Ooh, don't be too woke. Woke culture, call out culture. Nigga, you don't want call out culture because there's a lot of stuff that was going on while everyone was, oh, he's so great. Oh. And it's happening under Trump too. The whole Patriot Act just got extended until the 6th of this month. That was agreed upon by both Democrats and Republicans. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into that because that's getting sidetracked. If you want to look it up, the Patriot Act got extended. Go look it up.
When you get your orders, you just fly where they tell you to fly, right?
For the most part. I mean, when we're working, we're on a contract with somebody, a state government, a state entity, a foreign government,
right,
or a water district, you know, that has hired us. So we have an area that we can only fly in.
Right.
So whatever our project area is.
Right. And so you get contracts from the United States government, right?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
But other governments, other countries.
Yeah, like counties. Like in North Dakota, there are 4 counties that get together, vote on it, levy their taxes, and then the state, through the state of North Dakota, they also get a little bit of funding. I think it's like 10%.
Really?
And then that's it. Then they pay for it themselves.
So the state government pays for it.
The counties pay for it by voting on it and levying mills.
Really?
By voting on it. The county pays for it. Oh, well, King County, we sure, y'all got some splaining to do. King County, because I want to know where that happened. Please tell me. And if any person who's also invested in the politics of local politics, please point to me and show me where that was on the ballot. I would love to see it. I'm so mad.
Yeah. Now, some places, a water district, they'll take their, I don't know where their money comes from exactly, but like a watershed area.
Right.
And they'll take probably taxes as well, and they'll set it up, vote on it. Yep, we're going to do this project.
So
some places are power companies, like hydro water companies. They'll pay for it themselves.
Right.
And Calgary, an insurance company, pays for it.
So I saw the thing out there. You have the Lime ones too.
A Calgary insurance company pays for it. Then you got to look at, okay, well, who owns that? Bitch, all you got to do is follow the man. Who owns that? Let's continue.
Yep.
That one out there that I saw in the parking lot.
Yep, that's for snowpack in the mountains.
Really?
Set up in the mountain where you get the upslope wind.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll blow the silver iodide.
Yep.
I saw a thing, Shasta County, California. Mount Shasta. I'm not sure, but it's in California.
Yep.
The government was spraying silver iodide into Mount Shasta, California to increase snowpacks. The residents were protesting. The federal government still continues to spray it to this day. Excuse me. PG&E responds to cloud seeding concerns. PG&E. Oh, bitch, did you know that PG&E is just Enron? Enron, the company that went belly up because they were doing rolling blackouts, all that bullshit. Which, by the way, rolling blackouts were another way that they were testing us, to conditioning us to get used to like being without power. The same thing that they did over the summer, talking about high winds and we don't want the power lines and the fire. Like, oh god, oh my god. PG&E responds to cloud seeding concerns. With the recent announcement of its intention to conduct a 5-year weather modification program in the Mount Shasta region, PG&E has fielded a barrage of questions and criticism from concerned Siskiyou county residents. Where was the vote? Where was the rally? Where was the news coverage? Where was any of that? When was this? November 26, 2008. Everyone was too busy being happy about Obama. This is absolute bullshit. And the articles are here. And so for y'all, oh, enjoy your rabbit hole on YouTube and all that. Bitch, how about you actually do some motherfucking research? Then come see me and we can have a discussion about it. Again, let's continue.
Right below Mount Shasta, you ever hear about that? There was a big thing about it. The people, the residents were saying, hey, what are you people doing? You know what I mean? You know, I don't know if it's through you guys or...
No, that we're in Shasta.
That part.
What city is that near?
Redding, California.
That's north, right?
Northern California.
Yes. We're not up there. We're in...
So there's other
we got contracted in Sacramento.
Oh, you did?
Down there, but that's for snowpack up near Tahoe.
And see, it's the Californians who notice the shit a lot because us Californians are used to clear fucking sunny skies. So when shit looks out the normal, hello, people is paying attention and waking up, but the news isn't talking about it. No. But you got people who work for these companies, these tech companies and corporations who can write these algorithms to make shit pop up on your feed as the first thing you search. Like, oh, it's not real.
Right, to make it snow more, get more snowpack,
yeah,
right?
So that their watersheds and their water levels will fill up.
Yeah. So silver iodide, that's what you guys use? That's the only thing you guys use?
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's great. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
If you want more technical information about it, like science stuff, I can give you, this is our scientist.
Okay.
Bebo. I just happen to have one, so I thought I'd bring it, but his name is Bruce Bo.
And this is not a website?
Yep, and that's his email. You can email him, tell him who you are, and you're looking for some information. He can give you the scientific, technical information.
Okay.
That if you're looking for that kind of stuff.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I will.
The scientific and technical information. This man is amazing. Like, the fact that to even do that, like, takes balls. Because I would be so nervous. That is crazy. Like, good for that dude. And if you see this video, like, props to you. Props to you. They are spraying desiccated blood, insect, and plant DNA and parts, crystalline structure, aluminum, and about 150 other substances. Like, you just go through and read these comments. Go watch that damn video. So anyway, moving on. I mean, still on the same subject. So we got the Calgary hailstorm. So we know about that. Cloud seeding. Calgary hailstorm. Cloud seeding credited for sparing city. So we got that. The radomes. So let's get into lithium. Let me go back. Everything's still recording. Yes. Okay, Bob. So we've got lithium. This is what I searched. Lithium in the atmosphere. NASA lithium chemtrails conspiracy. NASA admits spraying lithium in the atmosphere. NASA admits to dosing Americans with lithium. And if you, so, we got this video here. A groundbreaking revelation about NASA was uncovered when a video of NASA employees surfaced confirming they've been spraying lithium in the atmosphere. Lithium is a psychiatric medication primarily used to treat bipolar disorder and psychosis. Lithium alters how we think by changing the levels of serotonin and norepinephrine secreted in our endocrine system. Lithium strongly alters the brain system. Okay. And this is the truthinAction.org. You can see. Let's play this video.
But this has been known for a long time. Of course, other agencies as well, the Air Force, have been spraying as well. And with me living in Louisiana, something I've been wanting to mention, I've been seeing a lot of in
I'll just pause right there for a second, because when people hear certain things like that, it's like, well, when and how and all these questions. If you want to know, you could do a very simple search. Just type in spraying in the atmosphere or geoengineering in Air Force. It's very easy. Just type keywords and you can find information, and then you can use your discernment to figure out if it's truth or not. Okay.
in northern Louisiana, a lot of chemtrails being sprayed. It's been bad really the past several years, and everybody's been putting images on the internet, Facebook, etc. about chemtrails all over the United States. But a connection with mine, I need to do a video, just keep it short, is these chemtrails, when they're spraying, they're going west in the direction of, and they all make the same pattern, this boomerang pattern together. It'd be 2 or 3 of them spraying, and they do this boomerang pattern together, and they it's almost like they're going to land, and they're going westward where Barksdale Air Force Base is. And I don't know if Barksdale Air Force Base has any connection with that or not, but it's just really strange how they do that boomerang together while they're spraying, and west towards me is Barksdale Air Force Base. But there's the official explanation for why NASA is spraying lithium, a pharmaceutical drug most often used to treat people with manic depression or bipolar disorder, into our ionosphere. And then there is probable reasons it would be.
A pharmaceutical drug most often used to treat people with manic depression or bipolar disorder into our ionosphere, and then there's probable reasons it would be easier to accept NASA's official explanation if they were not so secretive about everything they do in space. So into the ionosphere, okay? If you don't know, I would definitely implore you to look into the ionosphere, because that's what things like HARP are using to control from the ground the ionosphere. And that's what they're spraying shit into the ionosphere. HARP and ionospheric heaters worldwide. Just to give you an idea of, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's not a gloat, but it's because people need to be informed of this shit, and we should be asking questions. HARP, the ones in red are the ones that apparently are not in use anymore. So the red one, this is HARP. High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program in Gakona, Alaska. I think I might have covered this a little bit in the first video I did, but it doesn't hurt to touch on them. HARP and the Sky Heaters. And look, you can see your clouds, your chemtrail clouds there.
Easier to accept NASA's official explanation if they were not to so secretive about everything they study and do in space. But one thing is certain: NASA's own personnel have admitted that lithium, along with other chemicals, are intentionally being placed into our environment regularly. It is possible that many of NASA's own employees aren't even aware of the true motivations to carry out such a project, ironically displaying the very behaviors that these pharmaceuticals are meant to instill. But I'm about to play you this video. I'm going to give the links in the description below and check it out. We'll go ahead and play this video with the NASA admitting to the chemtrails. This was back in July of 2013. But here's the video, and just let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, keep truthing, and have a good one.
I'd love to play you back the recording that when I called NASA yesterday and I spoke with someone in your Washington, D.C. office, I was told that he's scared to death. He's going to denounce his citizenship and go back to the Philippines.
Okay.
That's what I was told by NASA yesterday when I called.
Okay.
Directly from your office.
That conversation with their knowledge?
Well, I'm sorry?
Did you record that conversation with their knowledge?
Are you recording my conversation with that knowledge, sir?
No.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm not recording any conversation.
You're not recording any conversation with my knowledge, and NASA isn't either, and you can't get through it anyway. If you want to leave a message, it rings and rings and then hangs up on you. Same with Wallop Island. So I would love to leave a message there. Could you give me a direct answer? Because it says you're the scientist here on the NASA website.
Yeah, I'm involved in the project, but
You are a scientist, so then, and you know that this is experimental, you've never done it before?
no, it's been done in the 1970s. It's been done recently in the 1990s and 2000s.
Oh, that's not what it said on this article here.
It hasn't been done since 1970, the lithium release in the daytime.
Why would it be done now then, sir? That's scary.
Detailed information. If you could please send your comments by email.
Okay, will you respond to my email if I send them?
Happy to answer them, yes.
You will. Okay, what was your email, sir?
Douglas.e.roland, Douglas.
I'm sorry?
E.
Uh-huh.
Roland, Rowland.
At,
NASA.gov.
I'm sorry?
NASA.gov. NASA.gov.
Okay. Well, I will be expecting an email back from you then, sir. I appreciate
Me too,
it.
bitch.
Yeah, it's very important we communicate what we're doing to the public. We're very interested in making sure everyone knows what we're doing. We're not, we're a civilian space agency dedicated to science and research and so on. So we're very, very keen to make sure that the taxpayers know what we're doing and everything. So.
Well, you know, when the article came out in the major newspapers, including the Huffington Post, there was no mention of lithium. Not one. Not one mention of lithium. Until I heard the recording of the actual, I listened to it. I listened to the rockets go off. I had no idea there was going to be a lithium dispersed until I heard payload lithium dispersed.
Right, there was lithium dispersed, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details that you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight. We take pictures and we can see how the wind trail moves around and use that to infer what the wind is. Just like if you were taking a picture of an airplane contrail, you can use that to see how the wind was blowing up at those altitudes. This is much higher altitude, so we use these chemical trails.
And what is the purpose of knowing what the wind's going to do in the ionosphere?
Okay.
The purpose is the ionosphere is really to understand our planet. It's very fundamental science. We're trying to understand every day. We know there's electric currents that flow over the head. They're just naturally there. They've been there for ever since the Earth.
There's electric currents that fly over us, and part of the
Had an atmosphere and a magnetic field.
So knowing this, they're putting chemtrails in the sky. Okay, we got Elon Musk over here launching satellite upon satellite into the sky. For what? And then you got the 5G thing rolling out. So this shit is all connected. You got the 5G that's going to just be oh so strong. And by the way, who asked for 5G? Who asked for 4G? I mean, shit running right now. I feel like I've got enough speed. And because more people are becoming connected to the internet, we need more speed. More. Like, who asked for 5G? So, and this all ties into the military refurbishing some surveillance planes that they gonna put into effect until 2035. I'll gotta find that article, but let's finish listening to this.
And the wind is driven by the sun. The sun heats the atmosphere, the wind blows, and every day that wind drives an electric current. And we're trying to understand what causes that. Essentially, how does it work in detail? And also importantly, when the sun becomes active with lots of sunspots and lots of magnetic activity, that changes the wind pattern and changes the electric current. So we want to understand both what it is on a regular day when there's no solar activity, and then what it is when there's a lot of solar activity.
Is there some other kind of a way that you can use it without dispersing the lithium?
We're researching other ways. The lithium is actually harmless to the environment, and we could show you more about that. But it is tricky to use because it's very faint. You can't see it with your naked eye. You have to, have special cameras to see it and so on. So we don't like to use it for that reason. It's hard. In other words, it's hard measurement to make. We're researching other ways to put sensors directly on the rocket to measure the wind, and those.
Lithium is a vapor. It's also used to study neutral winds in the upper atmosphere. Lithium gas has an unusually bright, narrow band emission at 670.7 nanometers, a wavelength in the infrared range. So they can use infrared wavelengths, which enables it to be visible in the daytime with cameras with infrared filters. In fact, lithium is the only vapor that can be imaged during the day and is also one of the few vapors that can be used at high altitudes. At night, its color is bright red. So when you see some wisps in the sky, lithium perhaps? No, it's not as bad. Oh, look at the other. Wow. They went heavy this day. This was Vegas. They went heavy with the Vegas people. And see, that's the other thing, is the shit happens over very populated areas. This was Florida. This is when I went hiking back in, I think, 2015. This is Bellevue. That's Seattle. And this is the shit that is covering the city. You see? I'm hot.
They're ongoing. We're trying to develop those now. In fact, one of the purposes of this mission was to do that.
Okay. Well, you've explained it to me then. I don't agree with it, but I appreciate you explaining it to me.
Mel, too, if you have detailed questions, anything you want.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna research a little more, and I will email you. And I appreciate you taking the time out to speak to me today, sir.
Get your call. It's not often we get to hear from members of the public and people who are really interested and concerned with what we're doing. And I really appreciate your time.
I wish more people would call. I really do. I've called my senators. I've called my governor. You can't get through to anyone, sir. You can't get through to anybody.
Yeah.
I go to my city council. I live in rural North Carolina. They don't care. They laugh you out of there. There's no other recourse for us, sir, unless to talk to people directly and find out what is going on, because we're paying for it.
Well, yeah, I don't know how far you are from Walls Flight Facility. Is that easy? Is that drivable from where you are?
Where is it, sir? I don't know where it is.
It's north of Norfolk, Virginia. It's on the eastern shore of Virginia. If you're at Norfolk, it would probably take you another 2.5 hours to get there. So if you're in North Carolina, I don't know where you are, but maybe.
Right. Yeah, I'm in western rural North Carolina near the Tennessee border.
Have a chance. You might consider either going to Goddard Space Flight Facility, which is outside of D.C. There is Clemson University, which is where all the chemical release work is done.
Oh, really? Well, that's very close to me.
You might contact those guys. I'm sure they'd be happy to explain what they're doing.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I will do that. Just ask for the science department.
Well, I don't know what department they're in, but Larson, Larsen, Miguel Larson is the lead, and he's been doing this for decades and can explain in detail what they're doing and why it's not an issue for people living. We wouldn't, we would be, as a government agency, we would not be allowed, to do anything that would be harmful. So he's under strict controls and that sort of thing. So he can explain it to you. He can even show you around, that sort of thing.
Okay, and you said his name was Miguel Larson with an L?
Well, Arsen.
Okay, at Clemson. Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Rowland. I appreciate all of your information.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Sorry, I was looking for a book. This man, we could not do that. We literally, I can't find my book, but it is called Medical Apartheid. I'm looking at my books up there. Sorry. It's called Medical Apartheid, and it talks about how the government purposefully injected or gave black men syphilis and gonorrhea to test the effects of it without telling them. It came out later that it was happening. And I bet you back then there was someone who suspected it was happening, and they were like, "No, bitch, you crazy. No." No. And see, it takes people to ask questions and to investigate the shit, because we're just letting it happen. And if it's not all the shit that I'm saying that it is, then what is it? And prove that it's not harmful. Oh. I mean, there's just so much. So I'm gonna end on this note, but with this video, I definitely implore everyone to watch this video. If you've made it this far into my video, watch this at some other time. Watch it now if you got time. I watched the whole thing in one sitting, and it's like an hour and a half. Ooh, my hunger's kicking in, pardon me. Some water. But I watched the whole thing, hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40 minutes. It's definitely worth the watch, but I want to just go in a little bit for those people who are like, still in, like, I just can't wrap my head around it. Close some of my tabs out. PG&E bitch ass motherfuckers. Cut my mama's power during the summer.
Effect as is produced by dry ice. Dry ice is
bring about thunderstorms or what have you. Could you tell our audience something about that type of work? Laurie, we're conducting experiments in cloud seeding aimed at determining whether or not weather modification techniques might possibly prevent lightning fires. We carry this work on by seeding clouds with silver iodide nuclei. We disperse silver iodide from specially developed generators located either on the ground or on aircraft. Our
Did you see how he had to cover his? I didn't even peep that the first time.
Modification techniques might possibly prevent lightning fires. We carry this work on by seeding clouds with silver iodide nuclei. We disperse silver iodide from specially developed.
But it's safe to breathe in. Oh, it's all.
Generators located either on the ground or on aircraft. Our experience has been that we can do the best job through aircraft seeding.
Again, man looks to his own efforts to increase the flow of water. Since the 1946 experiments of Dr. Vincent Schaefer, we have known that some clouds can be modified through seeding to yield additional precipitation. In 1961, Congress directed the Bureau of Reclamation to begin a long-range study of cloud seeding with the aim of eventually augmenting the nation's supply of water. The program, called Project Skywater, continues at many sites throughout the United States. Eventually, if the research program proves successful, the methods learned will become part of our nation's integrated water resources program.
In 1962, during the Vietnam War, American forces responded with Operation Ranch Hand. Over the next 9 years, spraying an area about the size of Massachusetts with defoliants, the most notorious being Agent Orange. Large swaths of Vietnam were left barren.
Enough food to feed 600,000 people for a year has been destroyed.
Despite this sudden devastation, U.S. officials said the spraying created no lasting harm.
Milton Ross, a Special Forces advisor near Pleiku, has a son born without the tips of his fingers.
North Vietnam charged today that defoliants have produced many instances of miscarriages, congenital defects, and monstrosities among children.
The Vietnamese government insisted the cause was Agent Orange.
Although that war was long ago, there is lingering anger about the United States' use of a controversial defoliant spread by American aircraft on the jungles there.
An epidemic of birth defects, brain damage, and rare cancers still affecting hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese today.
According to environmental studies, high levels of dioxin could still be found in the soil in certain areas and had seeped into nearby lakes.
Agent Orange.
And so see, all this, I'm going to stop it there. But all this, and we've got birds dying. Actually, you know, no, I'm not going to. I was going to end, but I forgot. Let's do one more thing. Okay. Because, let's see, aluminum. New factor in the decline of the bee populations. Very high amounts of aluminum contamination have been found in bees, raising the question whether aluminum-induced cognitive dysfunction is playing a role in the decline of bumblebee populations. Aluminum is Earth's most ubiquitous ecotoxicant, and is already known to be responsible for the death of fish in acid lakes, forest decline in acidified and nutrient-impoverished catchments, and low crop productivity and acid sulfates. I mean, how much more information do I have to put in your face before you start going to researching the shit yourself? I had a plant, a horsetail plant, and I had only had it for a year. And initially when I had it, it was covered, but it was outside, and it grew good. It grew really, really good. Then I moved, and it was exposed to just, it was not covered, it was exposed to all the weather. And that shit died in the middle of summer. And like, I keep my plants pretty fucking watered, and I'm like, I think I've got a good green thumb. But this fucking plant died, and it's the only plant that died. Right? And it was because, I know it was because of the shit that the plant soil was probably taken in from falling down from the sky. Aluminum bee population. Aluminum in the soil. I mean, like, how? Bees with, are we looking at bees with Alzheimer's? And the same shit is affecting us too. So Monsanto just genetically engineered a bee genetic engineering bee This is absolutely ridiculous what we are letting happen, and I'm so pissed off about it. All because it's like they have to do damage control. So we fucked it up, so now we got to genetically create some bee to save the world from the bees dying. Monsanto purchased the large bee research firm called Bee Logics. While its primary goal is to control the colony collapse disorder and Israeli acute paralysis virus. What? The what? I gotta look into that later. The Israeli acute paralysis, is that just specifically to certain people? Preventing development. This is a lot. Okay, I gotta read that. But now they're genetically modified, or creating genetically modified bees. So yay to that. So we've went through a lot. I've covered a lot. I would say watch that this documentary here, Lies in the Skies, Frankenskies. It's definitely worthwhile. It's free, because I know hoes don't like to pay for stuff. It's free at this link here. I'm also going to post it again. So yes, thank you for listening to this video. I hope that you feel a little informed if you did not know anything about this before. And do your own research. I mean, you don't even have to take what I'm saying at face value, but I'm just sick of it. I'm sick. I'm tired of having no conversations about shit like this that's important. People was talking about dumbass impeachment shit and the latest fucking Taylor Swift at the VMAs, and I'm tired. Why are you sick all the time? So I'm gonna end it on that note. Peace, love, and all that good shit.